Good morning. Let's get some charts. So, economic stuff is out. Not a big deal. Market's down a little bit. So far, not a big deal. We covered this week that our internals gave us a risk off, meaning probability of some corrective price action has increased. And we see a little bit of that so far. Yesterday was kind of a go nowhere day. I'm kind of building a base. Got interest rates up here. We talked about this over the last week or so, that they've been moving up. And while they're in this big trading range, right, they're moving up. And that is suggestive that the bond market thinks inflation isn't subdued, and maybe not in a significant way yet, but you can see it's up above 4.5% again. And it was down, it spiked up, it spiked down. It's getting near resistance, some uncertainty there, but this is definitely something to keep an eye on. If it continues to move up, it's going to come in alignment with those internals. And historically, the market's not going to act well toward that. And of course, inflation and the idea of that being subdued and so on and so forth. I've heard all of those stories. So where are things at? You see, the industrials right at that 200 MA, and a little bit of a reversal, and just kind of just went nowhere. This unfilled gap is kind of waiting down below as an obvious point. You can see the support area right there, the 50 MA. So this is a significant level of support, 4,100. I suspect it's not going to get there today, but you can see a turn is in the making. Right. A very good thing was that transports finally participated in this advance in the broader markets. So, from an intermediate point of view, this is great. It's at these pivots. I say that while in contrast of the internals giving us a heads up that there's going to be greater risk as far as breakouts increasingly failing. Um, and just generally things will correct a bit. And, you know, so before I get the other markets, you can see, let's just go over here. You heard the Walmart news, if you did or you didn't. They're hiking prices and saying, these tariffs are going to have effects and prices are going to go up. And there's your inflation. Right? Low cost provider store, saying they're hiking prices, not absorbing, whatever. So Walmart spiked up, spiked down. Costco's doing, and these are intraday charts you can see with the pre-market data. Costco's kind of rolling over. And other than Google, right? Google dipped and it's coming right back again, but that, you remember, got clobbered. I'll show you the daily charts in a second, but uh Broadcom, big semiconductor, which has done well. You can see the topping and move lower here. Apple, rounding top. It's only a 65-minute chart. Microsoft in an uptrend, and Nvidia gapping down, down toward yesterday's low. It recovered a little bit, and you can see Amazon that's been underperforming, and Netflix still holding up well. Tesla gapping down toward the area of yesterday's low, and Meta gapping down. Um, the daily charts won't show those opens, but you see at resistance, this gapping down a little bit. That looks like Apple is going to be one that maybe it's going to be a little worse off than the others, since it's already underperformed. You can see it just barely cleared the 50 MA, but at resistance, and Microsoft obviously doing great on that earnings, NVIDIA. So gapping below or in the areas of yesterday's low after green bars, narrow range bars on Meta, so on. Gapping out, Tesla gapping down there, the beginnings of some kind of correction beginning here. And we'll see how far it goes. All right, back to the broader markets. IWM, right? It was down on the day, but it just jiggled around, right? Like most things, and it just jiggled back and forth throughout the day there, just whipping back and forth, back and forth. But unfilled gap, right? Lots of unfilled gaps lurking below, just waiting for prices to get down there. And when they get down there, and they will, um, we'll see what kind of turn, and we'll check the internals at that time. Where are they at here? Essentially unchanged, right? Things are either down a little bit or unchanged, really not moving too much. Qs, where are they? Gapping to yesterday's low, little narrow range bar, some resistance there, these overlapping bars. And you can see the last few days, just going nowhere, a couple of days going nowhere and building a base. And so clearly breaking down under those pivots opens up the door to this little void below, this accelerated move that you can see on the daily chart. And, acceleration, gap up, acceleration into resistance, gapping down, just an obvious type of pattern suggesting things are going to pull back within this upward move. And you could look through most of these ETFs. Things have moved up over the last month or so, and certain things moved up a lot more than others. And so taking out these pivots, positive. And the great thing is that when they're moving up as they did, even though we're anticipating some kind of corrective price action, the size of this move just leaves plenty of whatever that correction may be, and it could be sideways chopping around or fill the gap. In this part of the trend, it should not damage it in any significant way. Overall, you look at the weekly charts and you just got this wild sideways range bound market. And that's pretty much across the board. It's a wide, giant range. And so I'm just eyeballing the middle of it, give or take that, you can see, okay, I just eyeballed it 230. Look where the cluster of moving averages are. And so somewhere coming into here, just applying that thought process to whatever you're going to look at. So just giant trading ranges. Look at the Qs, giant trading range. And I suspect no matter what happens, corrective price action up here goes up. I think we're going to be in this giant trading range for some time to come, which lends itself to, active participation in the markets. Otherwise, you're going to just sit there and you're going to be like, okay, this is great. Oh, what the hell happened? As it comes back and you see, the market's giving back and things whipping around. So it is what it is. And I get to SPX. Volatility spiked, way up there. Got that wild price action down there, back and forth. Tariffs 125%, 145% to China. And now we're best friends. 10%, and so on and so forth, as we've seen. So this is down near support. So odds are volatility is going to start to increase. And Bitcoin holding up really well. Right? It's just a little erratic, but it's had this acceleration. And so far, just consolidating at resistance. So holding up nicely there. But weekly chart, big old trading range. let's take a see. Gold is up a little bit here. So interest rates moving up, but gold has broken this support, lower high, lower low, rising 50. So we're going to keep an eye on this, of course, to see what this does. And you can see it's beginning to form this bottoming tail bar. Can it regain, right? The break under here. So in the coming days and week or so, does gold start to move back up and interest rates start to move back up? And that would be in alignment with our internals, reaching an extreme and this, some kind of correction that's coming. And we already looked at, those FANG stocks and Walmart and so on. So we always give these warnings. Make sure you always, internals or no internals, adhere to your stops, because these are the times that take people out. So silver just been a big mess. We were hopeful that it could break out. It didn't happen. Gold broke down, and this is still in a trading range. So this is the kind of pattern that says stay away until something develops. It hasn't done that yet. And crude oil, right? Chopping around down here. It broke down. You can see on the weekly chart. Let's go to the monthly chart. It broke down. And so that at least is a plus as far as this inflation thing. Just the thought of that inflation, while it's probably never, I shouldn't say never, not going back to what it used to be. Everybody wants to see it coming down. So as technical traders, we look at the markets. And it's like, if it's coming down and the belief is coming down, even if things aren't great in the economy, interest rates would not be moving up, and they are. So if this can offset that, oil moving back down again, it's kind of like not so bad. But if we see oil next week poking up above here and interest rates are going up, that correction could get a little more nasty. All right. A little narrow range day yesterday. So easy. We've covered this in MT Lives, where we do trend analysis and pivots and so on, and violation of a trend and bar by bar analysis. Common sense, narrow range bodied bar like that, momentum has stalled, and it's real easy to break below it. And you can see right now, or earlier in the evening, it was considerably below it. Now it's recovered a little bit, and it's down below there. So you look at the 65-minute, there's support over here. And, until proven otherwise, I think we just look at this and say, hey, things are going to probably rattle around up here as traders, institutions gather a little bit more information, whatever that information may be. We just see where it all goes. These little tight trading ranges here. We got to look at, either scalping intraday or individual stocks that are on their own page. I typed in the room a little while ago, Foot Locker. Look at FL. That thing's been in a death trend and coming back to life. There must have been some positive news on that. All right, so SPX, little narrow bar. Oh, they're buying it. Somebody's buying it. I guess it got cheap enough, huh? All right. So yesterday, things went nowhere. Clearly, nothing got touched. Things are going nowhere. That's what credit spread traders want. Things gapping down a little bit. Let's see how much things have tightened up or not. Why is all of this crap on my... Something must have reset here. I don't have open interest. I have to fix that. Okay. Well, this should be a no-brainer. News is already out, and it's moved down. And they messed that up. Okay. Okay. So they both moved down, and things are getting tighter. Right in the middle there, opening up here. We'll see which way it goes. Those are our extremes for the day. And yeah. So I'm just look at the futures for a second. You see, not much going on here. Right? Accelerated move. There's room to move down. There's room to move up. So far, just running in place. Well, yours, Dan.
Yeah, but when you run in place, you lose calories. Yeah, Google was ripping yesterday. So yesterday we said diamonds were the weakest. They still are. Looks like they're headed for the gap fill or minor support, courtesy of UNH again. You know, I said yesterday at the close, looks lower, bear 123, zero reversal. I was watching it to see if it could take out a 30-minute high after gapping down yesterday, and nope, it could not. Will this be an exhaustion gap? I have no idea. Probably not. Um, let it sell off for another 10 days. Who cares? The more the rubber band gets stretched, the better. A couple of alarms here. CMG, igniting, closing breakout, bottoming pattern. I like that 30-minute high, directional and put spread. Also, what's this one? Sam gave us. Rocket Lab also. Red bar ignored, closing breakout. And I like that it's gapping down. Because then the extra would be over the high, both again for directional put spread. Hope it doesn't trigger. Hope we get a 1, 2, 3. But those look good. Mercy also on Sam's list. I said you could short yesterday's low for a day trade. You know, I'm not sure the target for a swing, but day trade, I like it. Top over 45.50. A PG we found by accident yesterday. If we get ideally, we get 2 more inside bars. And then Monday, short the lows. That's a red bar ignored. I'm sorry, green bar ignored breakdown. Look at the MAs on a downtrend. IHF, or short this in the ETF letter. We covered 1/3 in the weakness yesterday. UNH we talked about. ADP. I have an alarm at 310 there. Broke out, little buy setup. It's just this 15-minute resistance, so I prefer it to go sideways more. And that's it for my alarms. Let's see here, XBI. We have a call spread, and that's a directional idea also. Myrna was in the weekend letter, sell setup. We're gonna buy puts on that. XRT had, that was a retail number pre-market doing nothing. Patrick just asked me about this. Shorting this also at the biotech. It's kind of the cousin of Myrna. But this looks a little bit like Sam's Mercy continuation breakdown, but this one has a better void than Mercy. So yeah, I like this. And let me set an alarm. And because it's a bio, bigger gap risk, you might want to check out the options to see if they're liquid. Myrna is very liquid. So it's a no-brainer to buy puts instead of shorting the stock. And let's go up to earnings now. Cisco, no pattern. And I think I read the CEO step down also. So it's kind of rare that they announced that. Better earnings, CEO stepping down. But nothing to do with that. CRWV was down pre-market. I personally sold the 95 naked calls that expire tomorrow. So it's still $25 out of the money. What I will try to do is wait 5 minutes and then buy a lower strike call to lock in my gain and get a free call spread. This was one, Bali, that you were going to do a call spread, remember? But on your checklist, you missed the fact that it had earnings opening flat. Still amazing. That's an amazing consolidation right there in an uptrend. Yesterday we were talking about MT Live trading ranges, and this is a trading range. We gave you all different flavors of bottoming patterns, of continuations, of narrow ones, this is a narrow bullish consolidation and an uptrend. I don't know what they do, EVA Tech, but that's amazing. On TXC, gapping down. That's a big gap. No pattern. We'll come back to it, see if buyers step up there. TOI 293, bullish. Yeah, if it's extended, we face a climb, though. We can find better. Signal. It's a sloppy bottoming pattern. The low gap's too big, 1245. Oh, I didn't open this thing yet. Forgot to open social media. Someone's asking about Mercy. Yeah, I just mentioned Mercy a moment or two ago. I don't know if you heard me. I said it's a day trade short under yesterday's low. I just didn't know about the target for a swing. But day trade, I like a lot. Failed buy setup. Going sideways, 4 bars. Yesterday, range expansion. You got a bearish 15. Spur. This isn't bad. This is gapping from a bottoming pattern. Let's see how this sets up. Be a no-brainer put spread also. This is the one I also shorted puts on. That's right. I tried doing a 10 lot at the $8 and I only got filled on one contract. Nothing I can do. Well, it was midpoint, Alex, so you're not guaranteed to fill. But yeah, I heard my bell go off yesterday, like Pavlov, and I'm like, oh shit, they only filled the one up. This, no pattern. Capping up. That is a crazy channel grinder. That is a grinder. 30-minute high, maybe. Since earnings are out, maybe he'll give us a day trade. STM, that's too expensive, but bullish. Boot, amazing gap. So Don, what are we thinking with this? All right, I don't need Myrna. I got an alarm. Actually, let me reset it. Let me reset the alarm on Myrna. 23.94. What am I thinking on boot? And you could call it Das Boot if you want, after the movie. So it's gapping up, holding strong. I hope it rallies another $10. And then we'll look to do a 1 DTE call spread. Walmart was up, now down, nothing to do. I heard Kramer talking about Costco moving in tandem, but I don't see it moving. It's actually a call spread candidate. Sam, remember you were talking about this 2 days ago, and I actually said I liked it for a put spread, but I didn't like the premium. But I didn't like it for swing. It's too choppy and there was no void. Oh, I didn't know you did it. I remember commenting on that pattern. BABA 127 call spread, 1 DTE call spread if there's any juice. Wow, look at the size of that gap on NTs. Man, that's bullish. And it's bullish pre-market. I don't know what to do with that. Stay away. All right, ADP, my 310 alarm went off. If it can go sideways till after 3 o'clock, I like it. It may just keep going, but not without, it's gonna be without me. Who asked me? Robert, BNTX. BNTX looks good. That Mercy tanking, Sam. BNTX looks great. You can, if someone wants to check, I'll check puts, but it's 95% chance they're going to be spready here at the open. So I'm just going to go, there's no weeklies either. Yep. $1.15 by 255, told you. But you can short it. Short it, stop over 94 or whatever. Deer. Wow. Yeah, that was earnings too. Yeah, I didn't get to it yet, but man, that's strong. But I don't buy things like that when the pre-market are climos. So when I trade gaps, I totally pay attention to the pre-market pattern. Oh, there's deer right there in the very next one. Zulu Kilo was a call 30-minute low call spread. Oh, well, wow, you got in earlier. You're aggressive. WMS is ugly. Nice call spread idea. 1 DTE. I'll look. Myrna alarm. Nice. The 170s. 50 cents by 285. I don't think so, homie. SPIR. This is my naked put, but there's no directional. It's up at this prior high. Yeah, Patrick, I've just been talking about it. Yeah, short 5-minute low, stop 5-minute high, unless you can get a 5-minute little reversal here at resistance. Look at UNH bottom right, poor thing. Das Boot, I'm just gonna look anyway, just for the fun of it right now. It's not set up yet. Starbucks low alarm, it was up pre-market, we have a put spread. All right, 170s on Das Boot. 5 cents by 95. So he's being a jerk on that. Baba, I said call spread. I doubt there's going to be any juice, but let's look at the 134s. High clear, new low, Alex. That's our short. 134 call spread, 10 cents, no interest. My CRWV. Let's see where I can close it. Man, the 95s are still 5 cents by 10. Wow, I thought they would be 0 by a nickel. I'm just gonna kill it. I have a nice open profit. I'm gonna kill it. I'm not gonna babysit this thing. All right, I'm out of curve. Nice profit. It's actually ideally if it runs another 10 bucks or so, then I'd watch this for a put spread. I mean a call spread for next week. But I'm done with it for now. That's that and that flirt or whatever it is. Those are my only two. AD line gapped up from a bearish 15-minute chart. 5-minute horsemen are perked up here, but within the context of a gap down rally into resistance, so nothing to do there. Yeah, I said I'm not going to chase it. I said I wanted it to go sideways here. And I said if it went, it was going to go without me. But yeah, it was a nice pattern on my list. It just it's not setting up the way I want. All right, I clear. Nice. Look at that. Look at that 15-minute chart. Remember I had an alarm at 137.50. I was thinking about going in early. And I didn't just because it was, down so much. But that worked out. So let me just set a new alarm. About 29.15. And let's see our cost basis 133.85. I'll go ahead and set an alarm there anyway. I'm not moving it, but setting an alarm there. Yeah, I have an alarm on Echo Whiskey. Yeah, it's not my style to add up 4 bars, but I like it if it closes like this because then we got a 1, 2, 3. Now I would actually prefer a red inside bar instead of green. All right, Starbucks. Low alarm, but that's hasn't hit the stop yet. I'll just reset the alarm. I had an alarm at 86. This thing's been, look at that 15 minutes. This thing's been trading wildly. Bull low alarm. Remember, I was watching this for a long time to see if it could make a turn. I just hit my 13. Well, now I'll set it lower at 12 and just keep monitoring it. That curve came in. I could have got out at a nickel, but I didn't feel like babysitting it. Bull. Hey, Sam, when I say bull, what's the next thing you think of? Word association. Okay, good. I guarantee you Alex would have a different answer. That's a guarantee. I thought you were going to say crap. Look at this pain on UNH. We might get a naked put. I set up 1DT here today. this was such a great example of that is controlled selling. And I remember I said that is not a Climo. In fact, I'm gonna, I'm gonna grab a screenshot and I'm gonna put that in the Climo MT Live to say that is not a Climo. 18 million shares already in 8 minutes. That is the definition of dumping. Man. Yeah, but it's been liquidating. And it's just, I mean, look at the weekly, monthly also. This week could be getting close to the peak point, but the charts will tell us. All right, so that 5 minute strength I mentioned 5 minutes ago got smacked in the head. I know, Patrick. I know that's why it's down. I mean, when things look like this, you can always point to a reason. Wow, Greg, the 200s are $1.25 for tomorrow.
Go for it.
I am. But same, I'm in it, but same old drill. How do I manage risk for subscribers?
Don't give it to them.
Okay. All right. Wait for a reversal. All right, I'm in at 121, one lot. And I'll roll it if I need to. All right, man, that's mercy. Sam, your mercy is crazy, whipping up and down on the 5 minute. So I said I wasn't comfortable for a swing. What's that BNTX doing? Yeah, that bottoming tail now too. What about diamonds short? Yeah, you short the low. Day trade.
Financials are strong. Interesting. Everything else kind of weak.
And the VXX reversed here at the 200. Yeah, financials ripping on the 15 minute. Wow. So yeah, glancing over at the Dow 30 and gold been up the most. Wow. Well, I'll look to add, Alex. I'll look to add. Um, just curious. We'll see what the juice is for next week. Just for fun. They may have lower. Wow, $3 for next week. But see, I would rather take $1.21 for one day than $3 for 8 days. But once we get stabilization, maybe I do both. Yeah, no, I'm in it, but yeah, you did a bigger lot. I was looking to, I mean, genuinely, I was hoping for lower prices to add. And it's Reddit trades wildly. I was I was looking at this for a put spread yesterday, but then it ripped, and now it's an ugly retracement. And coin coming back to earth a little bit. That's an igniting gap. Bye-bye. We still have naked $3 puts for tomorrow. Pizza, I'm still in, can't get out because of the spread. SMR was an earnings trade I did and let that expire at full profit. Behind. Looks like a directional. If this closes like this, even though it's down 3 bars. Got a bearish 1, 2, 3 on the weekly. I think it'll crack. Look at 81.85. I assume. Do you know mathematically what is wrong with Alex's statement there? If you did 50%, I'm sorry, 5 contracts, how can you close a quarter? So I think there's some misrepresentation going on here. See, Sam, you gotta watch Sal. Okay, but then in America, that would be called 20%, not 25. All right, Sam? At this curve. Oh, now it's nasty. Let me look for next week. Wow, it goes all the way to 100. Yeah, the 90s were 90 cents this morning. Now they're 60. I got all alarms.
Couple of numbers coming at 10 o'clock, Mr. FYI.
Yeah, the hourlies now I like, and the horsemen. Let's see if any zero DTEs. Just eyeballing up there. Oh yeah, that's right. Powell was talking. A lot of a lot of stuff there. 590, only 18 cents. Yeah, you're better off shorting it. Diamonds, yeah, diamonds look lower, but the other horseman failing, you can just do the diamonds right now, actually. And hoping that the others will drag them lower. That's what I'm gonna do. Mhm. Damn, your Galing. I liked it if it took out yesterday's high. I don't think it will, but I'll go ahead and set an alarm at 40. Yeah, we only got 3 trades on the advisory and only 4 in the swing ladder. It's very light. Aflac. All right, it's bouncing. We covered a third at the dead low yesterday. So I just let that play out. And W. Stop at yesterday's low. Rick T. Yep, that's a little Bear Island reversal right there. Yep. Microsoft, that's a rising wedge. That's strong. Apple, big fat nothing. Amazon. I looked even yesterday, the call spread on that. There was no juice. Hey, old goggle. It was a 1, 2, 3 from a bottoming pattern. It closes like this with a 180 on the weekly. It's a bottoming pattern. Tesla call spread. 1 DTE here. Let's look. 352.50 maybe or higher. Wow, there's good juice.
Apple, Nvidia, you have to go out to next week.
Well, no, I'm doing Tesla for tomorrow.
Okay. I looked at Apple, it wasn't anything.
Apple, he's, for 2 years, I've said he's sucked out all his juice. So, I have 18 million shares on Tesla already. Crazy volume. Netflix 15-minute chart is a tank.
Back to inflation. People are going to stay home instead of spending money. Watch Netflix.
Yeah, 65 cents on the That's not a good example of a spring. That's just whippy up down, more of a just a slow churn, I call it. But no, that's not
Self-correcting uptrend.
right. Right. And I say, yeah, sure. But I also use the term churning up. Yeah, I guess same definition. But yeah, that's not a tightening. Oh, this boot. Let me look again. Recall spread. Yeah, Cisco's ripping and IBM also. Boot the 165s, 50 by $1.15. IBM. Wow, that's a grinding through resistance. Yeah, man, Cisco. This used to be one of the top trading stocks in the 90s. Remember I said yesterday, it looks like Netflix small M top was going to turn into a bull rectangle. And that opinion still holds until we get a potent reversal.
Taking on the looks of a Head and Shoulders top. I'd put an alert at that neckline.
On
Plus, that
this,
assumes today is going to be a lower high.
that made no sense to me. There's no head and shoulder top here. Uh,
Just set an alert at the neckline. If it goes down there, you're going to want to do a call
No,
spread.
no, without a doubt, without a doubt. But then
I
that's a
call it a
long,
rounding top. What call it what you want. If it breaks those lows, it's not going to be good.
I know without a doubt. But what I'm saying is, if I until I get a Fulton reversal, we'd want to get into it earlier because waiting for way down here, it's going to suck a lot of juice out.
Well, you could then you could instead of doing spreads, I mean a call spread, you could do a debit spread, a bearish debit spread.
Yeah, I watch them every day. That's okay. Yeah, we got a total mess on our hands here.
Its numbers should be out or any moment. Nobody cares.
Spiders, new high, best looking 5 minute. But total mess. Costco, total mess. Home Depot, see moving up with a mess. Hey, son. Wow, nice bull rectangle. Uh, you bought it at 12.52. What are you talking about? You mean 12.22? That's a bull rectangle. Red bar ignored. Looks great. No, it's not all time high. Ah, this is a SPAC. That's a SPAC behavior right there. Well, he said a lot. There you go. Yeah, yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, but that's a bull rectangle on the daily, following an igniting gap breakout. Looks great. We did rig T yesterday, which is still lagging. Same sector. Rig team. We bought right on this 15-minute buy setup yesterday. Don, any others in the sector you like? I know you follow it. No, the AD line's still negative, even though it's above yesterday's high. Um, I just gotta let things simmer down here. SMCI, I had puts on that. But Alex, why would you not rather a buy setup in reversal? Cubic TS. Yeah, I mean, it's an igniting gap breakout with a bullish weekly monthly. But yeah, let's watch the pullback. Also, low alarms. I had Bali and I both had short 33 puts. So I took my money yesterday when it started falling. I don't know what Bali did. I'll set an alarm at 42. Alex, I'm still up huge. I'm up $70 on a 172.50 on one contract. And it still went lower from our entry, didn't it? Or was this where we did it? I forget. Nice. 76.50 on one lot. I love, I love trades like this. You gotta, you know, it takes a little bit of bravery to do it as it's tanking. But that's when you get those like jack premium. And even if it doesn't go up, just the fact that it doesn't fall anymore, those things will, come in. Grab screenshots. Echo Alpha. So yeah, now I'm not looking to add at lower prices because then that would give up my $76 gain, which would be retarded. But I will start considering doing the ones for next week once, but I'm in no rush for those. Yeah, I'll put my stuff a day low. EA. Yeah, it came down really hard, so you cannot expect a big bounce. Um, but I'll put it on the watch list. It's better for a foot spread tomorrow over today's high. ICLR, low alarm, Alex. Very nice. Yeah, I don't need boot here. The spreads are too wide. ICLR. Now we can move stop break even. What do you think our first target should be? Hard to tell. I'm just gonna swag it about 125.50. Don, are you taking him to Chuck E. Cheese or to Rick's? Which do you think he would prefer better? Well, we don't know how old he is, Robert. And I said, I said, listen to my question. I said, which do you think he would prefer? So that's a totally different answer than maybe what